the Sports Show. It's not very often, Baz. In fact, you've probably never had a silver medal around your neck from the World Championship, mate. But our next guest, Olivia Sandery, certainly has in the walking. Olivia, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Firstly, congratulations on your medal.
Thank you very much.
Oman was where you won it in the team event. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was my first trip overseas, or my first race overseas. Came fifth in the individual, and then managed to get a second in the silver with two of my other Australian teammates. So yeah, it's a great race.
Which was the first Aussie over the line. You were the first Aussie over the line, and the others were finished very creditable as well. Obviously, they had to win a silver. But did you know that you would have known, I suppose, that you were the first over the line?
Yeah, I did know, but I could see one of my other teammates. She came 8th, I think, so she wasn't too far behind me. I could see her coming, and yeah, it was us two that counted for the team medal. So first and second for each country. Was
there expectation on the team to get that high?
The junior girls do have a history of doing well in that event, and we knew we were in pretty good form, so we would have a shot. But yeah, it was still really exciting for it to actually happen. We weren't 100% sure if we'd get up for the medal, but yeah.
So how far off the gold were you?
Well, the Chinese girls came first and second, so it would have been it would have been pretty hard to get up to the first.
Yeah. Big girls or just?
Sorry?
Big girls or?
No.
Don't get drawn into this, Olivia. Don't let him draw you in. You want something controversial, don't get it from Olivia, mate. Just keep it to yourself. Hey, but then you had to quickly fly back and then compete in Sydney just last week in the Australian Championships to win gold in the 10,000 metres. So, again, congratulations on that. No jet lag, because it's not an easy trip. It's not like we're a 2-hour trip. It's 20+ hours.
No.
So how did you go from the emotion of winning a silver, then to jump on a plane, then to get yourself prepared to win a gold back here in Australia?
Yeah, it was a really quick turnaround. I let myself enjoy the silver medal while we were away, but then when I got back, I just tried to get back into my schedule because I knew that we had this race coming up. So yeah, it was straight back into training pretty much and getting back into that routine, ready to race in Sydney.
You also have a couple of very good coaches that I read up on. I know they are anyway. Jared Tallant's an extremely good coach, and Bob Cruz is the other one. How well are they for you?
Oh, they've been amazing. Bob was my coach since about 2016, so he's been with me pretty much the whole way. He's basically got me to where I am today. He's great for developing athletes right from the beginning, and then I've just started working with Jared recently towards the end of last year. And yeah, he's got so much experience having been to all the major championships. So I've learned a lot from him so far. And yeah, I definitely credit a lot of my success to both of them.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm wondering if you, Olivia, day 5 is the walking event at the championships. Are you there on day 1?
Yeah.
So you kind of got to sit there. Can you take me through? Do you get nervous as it gets closer? You know, because it's kind of like, you've got to sit there. Imagine going to play a game and you go, well, I'll wait 5 days till I have to play. You know, you do your training and you do your prep, but all the other athletes are competing, so you're getting involved in what they're doing as well. Is it nervous? Does the nerves build up into day 5? Yeah,
the nerves do build up, but I think the excitement does as well. And especially if you're seeing your teammates do well, that, you know, gives you a bit of a hype up as well. So yeah, you do get nervous, but I think it's more the excitement that builds, just getting ready to race.
And your reaction, once you cross the line in the 10,000, you know you've won it. Are you you're whooping around the track, or you just, thank goodness I've won it? What's your reaction?
Yeah, I'd say more relief more than anything. Just happy to get the job done. Yeah, I'm not one for the big celebrations.
Who's the first person you're looking for after you win?
Probably my dad, or maybe one of my coaches. Yeah, they're always in the stands. I know that they'll be somewhere out there. Yeah.
I'm always fascinated into how, Olivia, you got into walking. How does that happen? Do you go and train for something else and then think, I'll just go for a walk, and hang on, I'm a pretty quick walker here. How does this happen? Because it is it's an unusual sport to me. It's great. I reckon it's great to watch. But it's unusual that someone would go in at a young age and go, right, I want to be a walker rather than a 100-metre sprinter. If you know what I mean.
So I started through Little Athletics as an under-7, which is where a lot of the race walkers start out. So I did my race walking there every Sunday, and I also did quite a bit of running. So when I was about 15 years old, I was going to like cross-country nationals and things, so I was still quite a good walker. I mean, quite a good runner, sorry. But I was still walking at the same time, and then eventually it got to the stage where I was just better at walking, so I decided to keep going with that one because I was getting a bit more success, and because not as many people do it, it is easier to go further with it.
I know in my time in the Institute, Kerry Saxby-Joyner, who was one of the great walkers for Australia, early days she didn't get a lot of respect. You know, for whatever reason, the track athletes didn't seem to respect the walkers. And then as she started to become better and more male walkers started achieving great things for Australia, suddenly walking got the recognition that it deserved. Do you feel like you're in that phase where you get respected now for being a walker, or is there still a little bit of, you're walking really, you know? Where do you sit with it? What's it feel like to you?
Yeah, well, I mean, there is a bit of a hierarchy of events, you could say.
The 100 metres has got to be the hierarchy, doesn't it? Yeah.
So race walking doesn't sit too high up, but I think Australia are really good at race walking. They get some really great results, especially compared to some of the other events. So, yeah, it's definitely starting to take off, I think, and it's getting a bit more of the respect it deserves, considering the athletes are so talented. We're
having a quick chat before we came on air. So you're walking roughly 95 kilometres a week at the moment. I want to say, why don't you get a bus or ride a bike? But I know you have to do it for your training. And I'm thinking, it's not too bad at the moment because it's nice weather. But in the winter, when you have to warm up, go and do it, is there a different mindset for you, or is it just headphones on or whatever it is, I do my training, weather's irrelevant?
Yeah, the weather, you do try and just block it out because it's not fun getting out there in winter doing those Ks when it's cold and it's wet. But, you know, I've got a training group around me, so I'm not alone out there. I've got my coach on the bike, so, yeah, just working together.
Have you got a favourite distance? Got it? Hey?
Coach on the bike.
Coach on the bike. Yep. They walk quick, mate. You wouldn't be able to keep up with them, so I'd be the coach in the car. So what's the biggest workload in a week that you reckon you'd walk?
I've done 100 Ks in a week before, and that's probably my biggest so far.
Okay.
And considering next year I'll move up to the 20K distance, I'm sure I'll be doing that, if not further, in my training.
When do you do all this? Have you walked today?
I have.
You have? What time did you get up and go for a walk?
7 a.m. this morning.
7 a.m. Where do you do it?
We go along the River Torrens and out along the train line to Port Adelaide mainly. Okay. And then I go through Victoria Park a bit as well.
What do you reckon roughly 10 Ks would take you, just when you're just getting your Ks under you? What would that take?
Maybe 50 minutes in training.
50 minutes, that's good, because I walked 7 today and it took me an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So clearly I'm not going to be walking with you anytime soon.
No.
Hey, Olivia, you mentioned it just then, you're going to go up to 20 Ks. Why?
Yeah, so I'll move from the under 20 age group into the open age group, and yeah, that's just what you have to do. The distances get bigger as you get older, and in race walking there's pretty significant jumps with each age group. So I'll still have a 10K option at the Commonwealth Games, but the Olympics and the World Championships and every other event will be 20K. Okay, and the Worlds that are coming up that you've qualified for, 10,000? 10,000 metres. 10,000 metres, okay. Have you had a look at what you're up against? Do you know what you're up against going into it? Yeah, I think it'll be a similar field to in Oman. Yep. So, and I've looked Chinese. And I've looked at the previous year's results, so I know what kind of times to expect. But it's going to be dependent on the conditions and everything like that. Where does your time set? Where does your time set with the leaders, Zoe? I'm ranked pretty highly. I'm not 100% sure at the moment because not every country has raced, had their nationals yet. But I am a possibility for a medal, maybe, hopefully. So we'll see. Don't maybe and hopefully. Get out there and do it. Hey, Olivia, how much improvement can you get in the short period now between now and the Worlds? How many seconds do you think you can take off your time? I'm thinking realistically maybe 30 seconds would be nice, but again, it's going to be hot in Colombia and it's also altitude. Oh, it is. So it's going to be interesting. Good luck. Will you train somewhere else? Will you get out of here? Because you'll be coming from cold to hot, so you won't line up. Will you get out? We're going to do a training camp in Miami before we leave.
Yep.
And I'm also going to do some sessions in the heat chamber out at the South Australian Sports Institute.
Yep.
To hopefully acclimatise.
All right. Well, Olivia, congratulations on your silver. Congratulations on your
Exactly
gold.
right.
We'll be excited to see how you go at the Worlds. Appreciate you squeezing us in your schedule to try and get in here and fit everything in. So you need to switch your TV on when Olivia's walking, because she is going to be a star, not just for South Australia, but for Australia, with the Worlds coming up very shortly. Stay with us. A bit more to come.